Do 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 do. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy.
Okay. 3 weeks in a row, I got it right. First time. So let's start at the start here. You showed up an hour early.
I did show up an hour early.
Which, I don't know if that's because we were talking just in general yesterday about early's on time and on time is late.
No, it's
and it wasn't even in reference to this. It was just in general we were talking about.
It's just
work
becoming
ethic.
like this weird biological thing where I can't sleep in anymore.
Yeah, but when we say 12 o'clock and then you call me and go, I'm at your door and it's 11.
Oh, yeah, that was probably... You see, I don't...
You gotta... You got... Well, we're gonna...
I gotta give you a warning first off. I'm sorry about that. I didn't even realize how early I was because I hadn't even looked at the time. Like, to be completely transparent, when I left the house, I for some reason thought it was later than what it was. And I thought that I was going to take a lot more time at my one stop. And it just like... Listen, I've been high since I woke up, so I guess I just didn't give the clock any notice. And then when I got my Wendy's and I pulled up, I'm like, all right, we're good here. And then I look down and I'm like, my clock, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's only 11 o'clock.
Right. So there's now 3 things after you saying
and
that.
I know immediately what you're going to say, and I'm so sorry, it just totally skipped my mind, but I did get you your money.
Go. So
I should have called you because I told you I was going to call you for Wendy's.
Yeah.
And now that's on me, and I apologize.
And you should also let me know, because when you were coming, so I left the door unlocked because literally 3 minutes before you called me, I was starting to set this up to record.
Yeah.
And
you had a rumbly in the tummy?
I had a mudslide that just wouldn't stop. And so I go sit down, and literally right in the middle of it, you're calling, going, I'm here. And I'm like, God damn. So I do what I
Get a clinch?
you pinch.
Yeah.
Which always makes cleanup worse. And then I got to do a quick scrape or two because I don't want to I don't want to shit my shorts up.
No, you don't want to smear that.
So I run over and I unlock the door for you, and I go back in there, and then it's the interrupted shit.
Yeah.
It won't restart. And so I'm like, God damn it. And then you go to start wiping your ass.
And then it comes out again?
No. It's
like reactivates?
No. It's like you have a crayon lodged in your butthole. And every time you wipe, it is literally the same brown line as the time before. Over and over. And you're fighting like, what do I do here? Because it's where it is. It's not coming out without me having like an Elvis level stroke from pushing. So I'm thinking the battle. So then the question is the battle
over? No.
Well, I mean, do you surrender and surrender a pair of underwear for the day, knowing you're gonna be sitting here making a spot, or do you keep wiping, hoping it's a very short crayon, and you're just going to eventually wear the crayon down to nothing?
It's a really shitty magic
It
trick.
wasn't. It was a brand new crayon.
Oh, man.
I would have been there 3 hours. I was going wet, dry, wet. What's going on? How am I going to fix this? Do I push it back in with a finger? Do I get a utensil and pull it out?
That'd make a fantastic, video skit.
Yeah, well.
You know, we can write that down for later when we start doing our video skits. That we haven't even talked about, that I just brought up for the first time ever.
Yeah. That's a new idea by Marco. So
acting.
So yeah. So there was your arriving early was what we call problematic.
Yes.
To say the least.
No.
But
and it's funny because I don't know.
Hey, it's better than It's
better.
honestly better than me sitting here and we say 12 o'clock, you show up 12:45.
Yeah.
Way better than that.
What's weird is but it's been like this recent thing where I don't know if it's age. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, man, I can't make it to 9 o'clock before I wake up. Like, I can't sleep in anymore.
That's when I woke up today. I went to bed at 3 and got up at 9. I can't sleep later than that.
I mean, just because
I don't know, what time do you get up in the morning?
Just because of our work schedule, I'll wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
That's when I wake up.
I'll wake up and I'll be like, I have to go take a piss and go back to bed, you know, if it's the weekend, I go back to bed and wake up around like 8:30, 9, whatever it might be. But like, yeah, man, sleeping in is like become like especially like, you know what? Every now and then you're like, that's it. Like, I don't give a shit what I do tomorrow, but I'm sleeping in tomorrow. And I kind of made, because I knew we were going to do the podcast at 12, so I'm like, man, I'll sleep until about 11, wake up, come on over here, no problem. Man, by 8:30, I'm sitting in bed going like, all right, I'm over this.
Right.
You know, and the wife's like, no, don't get up. And I'm like, no, I can't really, like, I don't know, just something about it. Like, I'm now an early morning person. I don't eat breakfast or drink coffee and that nonsense. I'm up.
Yeah. And my body's on the same kind of clock, but it's really hard. Like, sometimes I'll try and make a point to just like lay there and try and go back to sleep. And then, you know, the problem is then all of a sudden you oversleep and then you feel like shit.
That's why I've been high all morning, because I woke up and like, it was.
Do you
like,
need you need a reason?
It was like 8:15, 8:20, and I'm just like, no, we're not doing this. I'm sleeping. So I took a big hit, and I'm like, I'll fall asleep in like 5-10 minutes. And like 10 minutes later, I'm fucking 5 peaches deep on fucking this remote control website I'm on for parts, and I'm just like, oh no, that's it. My brain is fully active. Like, I've got, you know, all the doors open, and I'm fucking spending 15 seconds on every little topic in my head, and you know, my ADD runs wild. And thankfully, with smoking, I'm able to slow it down so I can like process individual things a lot easier. But when that happens, there's no going back to bed.
Right.
And I just lost track of time, and then just realized when I pulled up at the time, I was like, oh shit. Well, I'm like, well, you know, Ben will probably appreciate earliness, other than the fact that he doesn't know I'm here.
Right. And I'll do that, like when I'm setting up, I'll just go and unlock the door.
Yeah.
But I hadn't gotten enough into the process because
that,
I had impending doom, like trigger, like it was like, I always use the analogy. It's like my butthole's a trampoline and there's a guy jumping on it and he's 300 pounds. So yeah, it wasn't. Luckily it's a short walk to the bathroom.
So I don't know, it's been kind of a boring week, I guess. Eh, Ben?
I mean, I don't want to talk current events or anything like that, but I mean, work-wise.
Yeah, work-wise.
Or like since we see each other like 45 hours a week, not including this. Yeah, I mean, there was. You know what surprised me yesterday? You you gave a panhandler like a wad of singles, and it was like. The rest of the week, it was like every time someone was walking by, you were doing the road rage with Sean Prime thing, where you were like just muttering about them or go fuck yourself.
You know,
or
it's
whatever.
funny. Two things. One, I thought you were going to say something in the vehicle, and you never did.
No. Well, yeah.
And two, I have these weird moments. Specifically, just like
fleeting moments of generosity in a sea of misery.
Like it's, and here's the thing, like, okay, so the work was over, the work week's over, I'm tired.
And I'm not like
yeah. No. And it's good to be generous. It's good to you know, to do that, to give to charity, and it's, you know, be charitable and fucking help your fellow man and all that other horse shit. Like, that's good stuff. I'm not known for it a lot of the time. not in the aspect, at least, of helping out, like, you know, because let's be honest, 90% of the people you see panhandle, like, motherfucker, you can go get a job.
Well, or you see that they smoke,
yeah,
or they have something that they're wasting all this money on.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows where they end up at the end of the night. They may walk to their Mercedes and go home.
And I've seen that. I've seen a dude walk to his Porsche, right down the street. When you get on 595 there,
yeah,
there used to be a black guy, and every day he'd be there. Every day for like 10 years, he would be there. Then one day, this was a news article in the paper. Someone caught him walking to like a, did you know that little park across the way? It's like fits like 10 cars in it.
Yeah.
He used to park his Porsche right there. So every day, someone finally caught him walking and got like pictures of it and sent it to the BSO.
Listen, but it's hard work.
Yeah. It's like 34, 40K a year you can make
down here. But I'm saying down here, it's like you're earning it.
Yeah.
you're out in the elements, which is usually either it's raining or it's like
Oh, you got. Yeah,
it's already like 90 degrees
You
outside.
got to be hell of an actor, man. You got to
It's-
put that show on.
It's the middle of April and
Mhm.
it's 90 degrees in South Florida with the sun beating on you.
So it was like it was into the week. We had just gotten paid. I'm going up to get an airplane.
We just gotten paid. I'm flush with cash, baby.
No, it's not even that. Like like at the end of the week, I don't know. A lot of the times on a Friday, especially lately, because like I've been making all the right financial decisions and I've been saving and putting money.
Oh
and all
boy,
that
are
stuff.
you saying a lot of things out loud? You're gonna jinx yourself,
Oh
buddy
yeah,
boy.
But anyway, like I have, like lately, I've been feeling better about myself because I feel like I'm finally an adult. Like 37 years old, and I'm finally an adult.
Dude.
And I don't know, like that particular spot, I've seen that guy 1,000 times before. He does the same magic trick, the same everything. He's got the whole shabazz going on.
That's how much I was paying attention until you rolled down the windows. I
Yeah.
didn't even know he was doing magic.
He does this. He has this magic card trick he does with the hands.
Oh, so there's street magic going on.
Yeah.
I'm already on board.
Yeah. And I've like I don't know. I just never paid attention. Like I've never given him money or nothing like
Next
that.
time we should like get him to do it on the camera.
I'd totally do that.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But it was just like one of those things where we're talking. We had just dropped off my brother. I had just smoked while we left. And I'm like, we're going to make an hour drive, pick up a plane. I'm like, feeling good. I'm like, this is a good day. This is a good week. Like, we had a good week. It was a good week. And I was like, all right, cool. And I saw the guy, and I'm like, you know what, man? It sucks all around. And, like that. I have this moment of
You know
generosity.
he's not getting a stimulus check.
Yeah, and like here, man, that $5 is gonna go a long way for him. He's someone I genuinely know is homeless,
Yeah.
as opposed to some people you see in this. Like if you in this pandemic era that we're in, if you're a traveling kid going from state to state backpacking, I got nothing for you, man. You're just retarded. Like you made a terrible decision. Like go home. Just go home. Do this shit in a year from now or 2 years from now.
Oh yeah, we saw those kids that were
Yeah,
doing that.
like you're fucking retarded. I got nothing for you, man. But if I see the same dude listen, if you're on the street every day and we work, all I know is work. So I know the salt earth kind of people. Man, you can usually tell if someone really desperately needs money, or if is it just a gimmick.
Yeah.
You can kind of figure it out. And that dude has always been around. I don't know. I just felt like, hey, a moment of generosity, if it were, like all the stars aligned, and I suppose if I, had more money, I'd be more charitable. But we're all just trying to make it in this fucking world.
But also like you and I are in that situation where we don't have 20 grand in our bank account.
Yeah.
And we know how hard we work for our money.
Like a stimulus.
So to hand it out to anyone
Yeah.
is also like, well, this is my money and I worked hard for it. And it's like, and you're just asking me to give you some of it. I don't even
Yeah.
fucking know you. I don't like giving people I do know money.
Yeah, if you come up and ask me for money, I'm not going to give you money. It's not going to happen. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. Like there are very rare instances.
But if you pull a rabbit out of your ass,
well, listen, man.
here's $5.
You got to reward creativity, man.
It's true. There was a guy when we both worked for that cunt Joe, that on the off ramp from 95 to go to the the shop.
Yeah.
There was a guy one day. He just had a sign that was like, $1 and you can insult me or whatever, And I'm like thinking, I'm like thinking, oh man, next time I hit this off ramp, I'm gonna give him 20
Yeah.
and have him talk shit about like a few of you guys,
Yeah.
and I'll just record it. But then he wasn't. Of course, then he's not there
Yeah.
the next time. Anytime you have a good idea after the fact, you're never able to pounce on it like that.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah, you gotta hit it when it's hot. I don't know, man. I just could use, everyone does, I suppose. But for me, it's just like I was in the Wendy's when I stopped in to get Wendy's, man, and there's a panhandler right by the fucking drive-through.
yeah, when I was with you.
No.
Oh, just now.
Yeah, just now, and then the other day, and it's kind of like, bro, like, this ain't the way, man. This ain't the way. Like, I don't react to that kind of stuff, man. I just don't. Because and that's why I hate not having AC in the
also-
truck right now. Because when your window's down, they feel like, oh, there's more.
You've already invited them.
There's a connection.
They don't know
there.
that you didn't. They're thinking you just rolled it down.
Yeah.
The other thing is that it's like, listen, What if I gave the last 3 guys at the last 3 intersections money? How many times a day am I handing out money?
Yeah.
You know, and then am I supposed to get? You know, it's not like, well, if I got to give one, I got to give everyone. It's not that, but
Yeah.
it's like, and then to tell them, oh, I gave the last guy $10. I don't have any more cash.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him feel any better.
No.
You know, it's the whole. You know what? You know what was more that they got rid of. That kind of was a good thing for everyone. Was because it upped circulation of papers. Was they used to give all the homeless people that worked the intersections like a stack of newspapers.
That's right. I remember that.
And
They
you
stopped
would-
that, didn't they?
And you would, they would just, I think the newspaper company was giving them the papers
Yeah.
because then they'd have a higher print run, and that higher print run would mean that for advertisers, you could, and so then,
That
and then,
stopped
the,
a long
and then,
time ago.
and then the homeless people that were working those corners would sell you papers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're not going to get whatever. Let's say the paper was 50 cents. I don't know what a paper costs now because who the fuck buys a newspaper? but if it was 50 cents, you would just give them $1 or $2.
Yeah.
But you got a paper,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that transaction almost validated. You're just like it's like you're just overpaying for the paper. But I think that transaction was more rationalizable to people than just handing people money.
And you're getting something from it.
It's really no difference
Yeah.
because you know that they weren't buying those papers
Yeah.
from the newspaper at the beginning of the morning,
Mhm.
you know, so or paying them for them the next day. Those were just given to them.
And I remember they stopped that shit a long time ago.
Yeah,
God,
at least
wow.
fucking.
That's like one of those weird things where, like,
You totally.
unless you're called upon to remember that,
Right.
you're like, you totally forgot that ever
Yeah.
happened.
Well, I remember once talking about
Yeah.
this. It came up because, it's weird because it's like it shouldn't be a determining factor. But like you said, the street magic gotcha. Or if someone has a really clever sign,
Yeah.
for some reason you're working. But it's like, why does that compel you more? Because someone's a little more creative
Well,
in their homelessness.
And here's the thing,
it's
man.
like,
It's like, it's the same concept. It's kind of the same concept as like being. It's the same concept as like being when you're in a strip club. Every girl walks up after the dance, does the round.
see, you and I are talking. Maybe they don't do this anymore. I have no idea because I haven't been to a strip
yeah.
club in like 15, 20 years.
So the last time I was in a strip
Right,
club,
okay.
every stripper would, after she would dance, would
I don't
come
know how it
around,
works
and
anymore.
you'd give them $1, and they'd go about their way. They'd come up, shake their ass or whatnot. You give them
Right.
$1, they go to the next guy, and so on and so forth. And
Sometimes that's called the go away dollar.
yeah,
Like
it's 100% what
like
it
here
is.
is $1. This ends our interaction.
You and I
Please
are talking.
go away.
You and I are talking, and she's coming up like interrupting. You're like, bro, like here's $1. Go the fuck away.
Or she's hitting you up for like a lap dance or something, and she's like someone that you would
Not
you would
get a
have
lap dance from.
someone you would have invented social distancing for.
Yes, that totally. So you just give them $1 and they go away because I understand that that's. But it's like the homeless people are the same way. They come up and it's just kind of like oh, if I give you $1, will you go away kind of thing. But here's the deal. Like, say you're a strip club for a few hours. That $1 adds up over time if you're giving every girl. There's $20-$30 out of the way. Do you really want to go through every day giving $20-$30 away to fucking random strangers
who haven't even shown you their tits?
Yeah, and let's be honest. If that were the case, take the $1.
Is that the go away dollar?
That's the go away
Keep
dollar.
your shirt on dollar.
Strippers are a little well physically put together
Whoa.
than homeless people.
Obviously, you haven't been to a day shift at that place that used to be on Broward Boulevard in the hood.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Buddy boy, you would never have made that statement.
Okay, by the numbers.
If you've been to a day shift to any strip club that does not have a buffet,
Yeah.
buddy.
I almost feel as if we have to make this venture once everything.
I don't
goes
give a
back.
fuck. I'll go look at ugly women.
Maybe we'll make a bit out of it.
Oh. Yeah, the only problem is that obviously they won't let you record in there. But
No. But we can podcast afterwards, and that story would be
we
fantastic.
should just podcast in there. I'll get a portable. Dude, I think we have to make it happen now. We'll get a portable audio recorder
We need to write that one down.
and just interview the day shift workers.
We go.
We do know someone who works at Scores,
But
who might be able to arrange like a special arrangement to be set up in there.
okay, that's a good idea. Also, we happen to work right by a truck stop strip club.
Vixens.
Yes, sir. That is a perfect establishment.
Dude, I bet you that place is nice. Because that place probably generates a lot of fucking money.
Oh,
off
no, the place is nice.
Well,
I'm talking about the quality of the dancers.
well, nice place equals nice dancers.
All right.
The places that generate...
It's in Davie, bro.
Dude, yeah, but you don't think... Okay, posit this. If the place is generating a lot of money, and by generating a lot of money, meaning guys are spending money on women, the better... Why would a good-looking woman work in a place that doesn't generate money?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well,
It's just survival of the fittest, buddy. You're gonna have someone driving an hour to go work there.
I would. When the world stops going nuts.
The best one was it Goldfinger? That's over by the Hooters.
Oh, is it still there?
It might. There was like a Goldfinger and a Goldfellas. They're right next to each other.
Yeah.
And there's also Hooters. And obviously, Goldfellas was a male strip club. But I just remember that like half the Hooters girls
Or worked at the strip club.
Yeah, they would either day shift and then work the night shift at Hooters, or vice versa.
That was a hell of a Hooters.
Yes, it is. But again, it's. I mean, listen. You almost have to be better looking working Hooters than a strip club.
Yeah.
Just because lighting does like 3/4 of the work for you.
Yeah.
So
Lighting and alcohol.
The bright lights
Yeah.
of Hooters with windows and sun coming in and whatever,
If you're a day walker, you gotta look good, man.
or the 10% lighting that you have in a strip club.
What's that place? Twin Peaks down the street, where like, if you took the makeup off the women, they'd weigh 3 pounds less. It's
Some of them.
Oof, man.
The one in West Palm is way better.
Oh, the Boca bitches.
Yeah.
Boca whores.
No, West Palm. North.
Oh, North. Oh,
Yeah.
West Palm.
My old boss Tony loved to go there. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we got one when we were down here getting something or working or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's right by my house. Blah blah blah. And we go in. He's like, dude, what's going on? And I'm like, I apologize on behalf of my city.
Apologize for Dave.
I had no idea that the hiring policies were very different in these two establishments.
Little lax, one would
Dude,
say.
that ale house next door,
Yeah.
back in like 90.
No, it used to be the place.
Mid 90s, because Dolphins Training Center's
Yeah.
down the road. That used to be the place with the drink specials. Thursday nights took you 10 minutes to walk from the front door to the bathroom, because there's so many people in there, and there was like
I remember,
always
man.
Miami Dolphins
Yeah.
there. That one coach, that Doug Blevins, he was the kicking coach, the guy that was in like a wheelchair scooter thing. He was there every day, man. But yeah, that place, the guy, John, whose sister is like the VP for Wes Craven Films. Her name's like executive producer on all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
He was the manager of the ale house.
Yeah.
And he had probably a hiring practice that would get him a HR complaint or two today, but he used to hire exceptional women at that place. And now someone else is running it. But again, when that place was printing money, more attractive women wanted to work there.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's
like anywhere you go.
Listen, it is what it is. It's like it's in the serving industry. I assume a prettier lady can make more money and actually provide lesser service. You know how that works?
Yeah.
They just have to pretend they care about what you're saying, and laugh at your stupid jokes, and don't get mad when you look at their tits.
Yeah.
It's and they'll make more money than the girl that's a point or two down the scale from her.
Yeah, who's
like the best waitress on the planet.
Yeah. Who's the real idiot? The woman making $700-800 a night at the strip club, or the guy who gave her half of that, going, "Oh, give this money to a whore." Like, yeah, that whore makes more than you, buddy.
Well, because strip clubs, there's a percentage of people that are just there to have fun.
Yeah.
But there's a percentage that think because this woman who would never make eye contact with you or listen to a word coming out of your mouth in any other place on the planet
Any other context
is listening to you and finding you interesting and talking to you and touching your arm and touching your shoulder and getting flirty with the bedroom eyes. And so you've made 2 trips to the ATM thinking, oh man, if not tonight, if I keep coming back, one day she'll want to hang out in the real world and I can buy her lunch and she'll touch my penis and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's funny.
It is fun. It is fun, but it's just, I don't know.
It's fun to watch. Like now that like the last time I went, it was fun to watch everything else going on. Like just staring at a naked woman, I can do that on the internet. Yeah, just because it's in person doesn't make it. No. Well, whatever. So, I do remember one thing that I think we could reminisce about, and then I want to call Anthony because I need a coronavirus update from him.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But he also I need to he's
50% Jeanette.
I have to chastise him on his TikTok obsession because it got me to download TikTok, and now I spend too much time on TikTok.
He's become like a 13-year-old girl with that shit.
He is, but he's kind of popular.
Good for him.
He's been recognized.
Oh my goodness.
But we'll talk about that in a minute.
He's going to be the first Breakfast Club member to make money.
But first, I want to go back. How many shows did you work? We're going to talk about that Uproar show.
Oh my God.
But how close to the last match was that for you? Did you work like 2 or 3 after that?
Wait, the Uproar show at the
brewery?
That was it.
That was the last match?
That was the last time I ever
You haven't done anything since?
That's the last time I've been in a wrestling ring.
Oh my God. So,
and that's what killed everything right there. That show killed everything.
Really?
Not the show, the aftermath where nothing happened afterwards. Where I'm like, another time where something really cool and promising came along.
Oh, and then they never had another show.
And I was like, okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I think our friend Mark.
And it wasn't on Mark's fault by any stretch of the imagination. No. He's always trying to help out everybody.
But I think he half the time was running those Uproar shows because other people were up his butt to do it, like his brother-in-law. And not necessarily him wanting to go because he's the one doing all the work, But so Mark, our friend Mark, has has, I guess technically still, a wrestling promotion called Uproar, and it's up in Port St. Lucie, which is a fucking haul for us. It's like usually at the usual place he did it, it was
a couple hours,
4 hours and 20 minutes or something like that.
Some change, yeah.
And it was that one place was called the Verizon Center.
Yeah, it was just
it was a converted Walgreens.
Yeah, just an empty Walgreens. But for some reason, man, it was other than the ceilings, it
Low
was a
ceilings.
fantastic venue.
Yeah. So, but this was at a brewery. That kind of doesn't flow off my marble soul.
A place where they make hipster beer. Yes.
Yeah. And I think he thought they wanted to do it more regularly. And then after they did, they're like, yeah, it was great. We love it. Yeah, maybe one more time this year or something. And Mark's like, what the fuck? I thought he was going to get like 4 or 6 out of it. So
and at that time, I had already retired, but we were talking about, Mark was like, yeah, we'll just do a few shows and we'll do a big thing with you and Drew. And I was like, all right, I'm always down to work Drew. And Drew's like, all right, we're always down. Let's do this. It's fun because we can do what we want to do and it'll be good. And
plus Mark's a friend,
yeah,
and we like those guys, and they're not going to have you doing stupid shit.
So I actually got back in shape for that and everything, man. And then that was the infamous.
It was a really cool venue.
Yeah,
it was a really cool venue.
It was really small, but
it's almost like
it was very intimate.
It's what I would like to do with the idea.
Oh, okay,
I have, with like a venue that's also attached to a restaurant but instead of making and selling beer, you're got pizza and donuts and art kind of stuff, plus beer and wine. But yeah, so I just remember there are a few things that stand out. I don't know if I could talk about some of them, but the one thing that I remember was I was talking to you right before your entrance. When you're behind the stage that they have that I guess they have bands play on, and then you come out and you go downstairs and the ring's off the stairs, I think. And
No, I think we walked right off the stage onto the apron.
was the apron butted up to the stage?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's cool too. And I'm talking with you, and they're like, all right, and they start playing music, and you're like, all right, and you turn, and you're like, there's stairs going up to the stage in the back. It's, an elevated area, and then there's a curtain there, and like I think it was the last stair or something.
Totally ate shit,
You
man.
totally ate
I
shit.
totally ate shit.
Face planted.
Right before the curtain.
Right, man. Two regrets. One,
It wasn't through the curtain.
that it wasn't through the curtain. Like, you didn't just stumble and do a Shockmaster right through the
Had
curtain.
I had done that, I would have done zero heel work. I would have been all comedy from
Right.
that moment on.
Well, especially since Drew would have been
Yeah.
laughing. Well, you were Drew, right?
You do know that? Remember, I was actually going to work somebody.
Oh, did he run
and he
in?
no showed. So I didn't have a match. So they counted my opponent out because Mark needed to kill time. He couldn't just remove the match. He goes, "We're just going to make it like a segment for you." And then I came in afterwards and attacked Drew after the main event he was in with what was it, the ladder guy?
Oh, upgrade.
Yeah,
Mike
the
Reed.
upgrade. That's right. He kept doing the ladder motion with his hands.
He
every
does
time
this
did
thing
it.
where, like, he puts a hand up in front of him where the fingers are like horizontal,
Yeah.
and then he takes his other hand and goes above it with the same. I did that with my
You-
microphone hand. I'm doing the motion while holding a microphone.
He clearly knows how ladders work and
Right.
stairs.
He's like
Good for
emulating
him.
the steps of a ladder with his hands. And that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
And then he just wrestles. There's
Yeah.
no other gimmick except that a couple times during the match he'll just yell upgrade and do
Yeah.
the hand motion.
Yeah. He's-
Which, okay, whatever. You know
listen.
what? If nothing else, it's memorable and we're talking about it right now.
100%. No,
What was that, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And I was excited, man. And then I was like, man, we get to do Breakfast Club stuff. And then nothing happened. Because, that's what happens. Nothing ever happens after it. So after something fun in the wrestling business happens, nothing happens after that.
I get that, like, it's not Mark's fault that the venue kind of pulled a 180 on him.
Oh, yeah. 100% don't hold any.
But
anything
then,
about that,
then he had no interest in going through picking another venue and continuing.
I think
And I don't blame him.
He's only interested in running those shows really so we can all hang out, which is at that point and at the point we're
So
at.
that
It's the only
means-
reason to run a wrestling
So
show.
that means he hasn't wanted to see us lately.
Well, I think.
Oh, he did. He had a convention show after that.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Mark, and the problem with a lot is like you want to do these things, but once you realize everything that's involved to make them happen, and you have to realize that 90% is going to fall on you, he gets over that shit. He's got a good job.
The amount of work
that it takes to do that is a lot, man.
and for the amount of money coming back, if you're even making a profit,
And some of the
isn't
guys
worth it.
And when some of the guys you book are douchebags or don't play ball or just can't be they just can't be people for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
I think that's what
Yeah.
broke him more than anything is dealing with constantly, time after time, people letting him down
Mhm.
or becoming prima donnas overnight. Over what? I
Over
mean, it's
nothing.
still indie wrestling for $50.
in
It's
front of
like-
50 people. Calm the fuck
well,
down.
he always drew more than 50.
Well, he
people.
did.
Let's be
And actually, his crowds were some of the best crowds I worked in front of.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it goes back to like when we used to do the SuperCon wrestling, which anyone who the 12 people, I think that's a running joke. It's always going to be the 12 people listening. And I don't know where that number comes from, but it's a nice round number. That's more than 10, but still very low.
I just hope that one day it comes to be where we have a number of listeners, and we say the 12 people listening. People go, "Oh, that's funny," because there's so many more listeners than that. And right now, it's not a joke.
Maybe not. But
I don't even think we reached 12. If we do, God bless.
we
all
will
of you.
now, because before I tangent too far, every week I want to upload all of our stuff to a new
platform.
So this week, instead of going to another like podcast centric thing, I said, fuck it, let's just put them on Pornhub.
Oh, 100%.
So
I'm 100% behind.
So our 12 podcasts for our 12 listeners are on Pornhub now. So
it's fantastic. It's probably the best decision we've ever made.
It might be misleading because like one of them already has like it says 73 views.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be they clicked on it, and when in 3 seconds when there wasn't tits or a cock or both
Yeah.
interacting with each other that they were like, all right, I'm done with this, and clicked off.
Yeah.
But it's already more hits than anything else anywhere else we've uploaded.
To anybody listening to this podcast from Pornhub and you've made it this far, it's gonna be okay, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
Listen, but here's what you do. This is what you play and have playing on your speakers, and you listen to us, and you have like those 18 other tabs open with your actual porn on them,
Yeah.
and those you have the volume down on.
Yeah.
And when someone like your wife or your mom walks in, you could click to our screen, and we're already running, and they hear it. It's a good cover, I think.
Yeah.
So
like
you just have to, if your dick's out, listening to us, even if you're looking at like actual porn, that might be problematic.
It's kind of crazy that the way you say that, there's a possibility that at a point in time, as we're having this conversation right now, some dude on another tab is watching like a dildo go to action, just going down some chick and some shit. Some weird shit might be happening, man. Like that's kind of fun.
It's even more weird that someone's jerking off while they're listening to our thing.
Yeah, you got their hand on their dick, listening to our sweet voices,
giving themselves the hand jibber. Yeah.
Or someone's flicking the beat right now, man.
Bing, 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 bing. So, but back to the which we both experienced with the when we did the cosplay wrestling for the conventions.
Which is going to be a whole episode on its own at some point.
Oh, dude, that's multiple because there's a lot of fun stories to tell.
But there's a lot.
There's a lot of tea.
Stuff.
There's a lot of tea to drink or spill or whatever you call it. I'm old. I don't know this fucking. Spill the tea? Is that what it is?
Every Gen Z who's ever going to listen to this is like, so triggered.
I don't care.
Oh, go ahead.
They're all going to die from the virus anyways because they're all Nerf and bubble wrapped. But
it's all about being in the beach, bro.
But what I was going to say was
beaches are open.
That I think we understand what Mark went through because, we dealt with a lot of the same fucking assholes.
Especially in the beginning.
And at the end. But... No, as much as we try to weed it into a good locker room, there was always someone that would eventually surprise you.
But it's not even wrestling. Is anything that results in that number of people having to be cohesive, you're always going to have these issues.
A collaborative process, and when there's money involved and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it, and we were paid all right to run it, but I think that like what I think a lot of people didn't know is that every time someone became like. Not every time someone was difficult, but like even if someone had a need that was especially financial, I took it out of my pocket. I was like, I'm not going to Boss Man because I don't want to have to deal with the fact that it was going to cost this and now it costs this and blah blah blah.
That always opens a can of worms.
Yeah,
always.
Other than the fact that he opened as soon as he got rid of us.
Yeah.
And he kind of took the book.
The bank vault
opened. And he
opened.
kind of started running it himself. That all of a sudden, money was no object. But when we were doing it, it was like he got mad if we paid anyone more than $20.
The few people who have spoke positively of post us, I always remind them when they speak positive. I'm like, well, what was positive? And they would say, and I go, do you know what produced all that? The fact that they were able to spend that kind of money to make that happen. We didn't have any of that.
Right.
Which good for them, but
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with it all. So,
but anyway, where you're going with it is we were in a position to where it was constant, but we didn't have to search for venues. We didn't have to deal with buildings. We didn't have to do all that stuff that Mark had to do. We didn't have to buy our shows.
We didn't have to hustle.
Ourselves.
We didn't have to drum up money in
sponsorships and all that stuff.
And
so
we didn't have to sell tickets.
Had all the issues we did, plus the issues of the actual promoter.
And I know that like. Aside from the logistical nightmares of putting on a live event, and for us it was 4 days in a row, or 3 days in a row, depending on the show.
Every 3-4 months.
Right. That the dealing with the people involved that in this whole collaborative process, sometimes it was a joy, and you loved having these reunions, especially for the convention wrestling, because it's like 3 or 4 days of doing it in a row,
uninterrupted.
That it's like a big party. We're all hanging out. It's like a family reunion for 4 days, and most of us all like each other or did at the time, and so everyone looked forward to it. And everyone had fun, and it's this returning thing. I mean, doing a one-off show where they show up that evening and leave that evening, it's a totally different vibe.
Unless you're doing it monthly.
It's still a different vibe, I think.
No, because
it's not as long and intense of a thing. They show up, they leave.
Yeah.
In between, they're working. With us, they stay. We hang out all night. We hang out all morning. We put on another show. Stay, hang out all night, and it's a party. And it's a party there because the show's
everything's in that one space.
Because that show's running. There's the raves and there's the this and the that, and we were doing other things when we were doing the panels and the dating games and things like that. It was always having fun all day, every day. It's very different than running an indie show for an evening or an afternoon. There was a lot of payoff for what we did, both personally. Everyone in that weekend, would grow a little bit. I think. And the personalities of the people are kind of the same because you have to be interested a little bit. There were very few people that worked our shows that weren't interested in the actual convention side of it, the geek factor and whatever. We had one or two, and a few that grew into it. Right. Over when time. You have a regular indie show, it's across the spectrum, totally different personalities and interests and people that do and don't like each other. So I understand Mark's problems. I told him when he ran that show, I was just like, why are you doing this to yourself? I think we've said that more than once. Because I've always told Mark, if you want to hang out, just say, hey man, come up over a weekend. We'll get a hotel. We'll come up. We'll spend a few days up here. That's not a bad deal to get out of the norm of South Florida. Just take a few days to blow off steam and stuff. I'm totally down with that. We don't have to get concussions along the way. Not to say that you get a wrestling ring, you get a concussion, but fucking shit happens. Well, not to say you don't. Don't, yeah. It's you don't have to make these excuses up, and I think that was the biggest problem. And actually, maybe it's down for us to reach out and just go up and hang out for a weekend. Well, as much as it's I never hear from him. It's he never hears from me either. So yeah. Oh, I got a lot of that lately. In fact, it's kind of one of those things I was thinking about this a lot yesterday, where it's just I'm thinking of all these people that I haven't heard from in forever, and I'm just well, at the same time, you've made yourself very unavailable to 90% of the world. So you really I don't get. You're not allowed to be mad when you're not. It'd be one thing if I reached out to you 3 or 4 times, didn't hear back. And then I get mad about it. Well, I have a little reason to be mad because I know I've reached out to you. I know I've tried to make myself out there, and you've rebuffed it all for whatever reason it is. So, yeah, okay, if I want to be agitated, I can be agitated. But if I haven't tried to reach out to you, you haven't reached out to me, well, maybe we just haven't reconnected. We're men. If you don't hear from somebody, for most guys, for 3 or 4 years, when you do see them, it's you picked up yesterday. You brought it up this week. Yeah. It's you pick up right where you left off for most cases, unless you're a real sensitive bitch. And then then you spend the first half of the interaction apologizing for not putting somebody, on this, oh, you should have reached out to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm oh, motherfucker, it works both ways, asshole. Right. If I was that important, reach out. But, every time I see Mark, for instance, we have a great time. Yeah, same. Well, I think what's helped, I've reconnected with a few people recently, but it's online, and it's all I do is I just have increased the number of people I send these fucking memes to every day, and it's and then there's a little conversation in between them, and then they send back, and then when I get another one, I'm all right, I'll send it to this guy and this girl, and you're oh, and I haven't, this person would get that, and boop, and all of a sudden you're back in touch with them. Mm-hmm. It's weird that I even said all that, but. I mean, it is what it is. It's human contact's changed over time, and now that's meme sharing is an easy way to keep up with people, because after 10 or 8 memes, you're just hey, how you doing? Oh, great. Okay, back to the monkey throwing shit at the fucking person in the fucking Zoo meme, or some of the more salacious stuff that you get sent. Yeah, Billy Fives just will send me straight porn sometimes. It's almost when we eventually have him on this podcast, all I want to talk about is how has your meme culture evolved to this point? I don't care about wrestling or fighting or none of that nonsense. No, I'll hear his stories all day long. But with him, when I get something from him, first of all, it's probably a 25% chance that it starts with an attractive woman and then ends with a penis, and then a surprise cock pops out, which is awesome. So you're always when you hit it. and you hit play, you kind of do that squinting thing because you're thinking you'll be able to close your eyes quicker when it happens.
You're playing Russian roulette. Those tits match a vagina and not a big giant dong.
Right. And then like sometimes it's a funny it's a whatever, but a lot of times then it's just like porno. Like it's weird. It'll be like a 5-minute video compilation of girls with big tits getting railed or something, and it's like a compilation and it has a theme to it. But I'm like, well, I mean, what do I do with this? Like who sits and watches 5 minutes of that? I skip through it and go, okay, that was interesting. Why did I even watch that much of it? And of course, I'm watching it while I'm working or it's never like where would I watch this that would be appropriate? You're always most of the time we're just exchange stuff during the day, which is everyone's at work.
Like I'll be driving and all of a sudden Ben will open up one of these. You're women getting railed. You're like, huh? Well, all right. I mean, like, sure. It's just weird because you'd be in the middle of a conversation. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, okay, well.
I scared I don't know which one I opened. It had like a siren on it.
Oh, yeah, it had a police siren.
And you like freaked out. You thought you were getting pulled over?
Yeah, I was doing
and it was wasn't it the day you left your license somewhere?
Yeah. I was doing like 70 on a surface street. I heard that. And I'm like, oh, here it goes. Here's my time. It's come now. In fact, it was right off of, it was going on to, we were going towards the beach. It was 17th Street Causeway. So we were getting off at we were on US 1. I was blasting through the light and I heard it. I'm like, oh, shit. Here it is. And then I'm looking around. I don't see any cop lights or cop cars or nothing.
I'm telling you, there are no cops out doing traffic stops.
You have to be doing something really fucking awful.
I think they've lightened I think they've lightened that, and they're either reappropriating to like more domestic abuse calls, or they're just not making them work full schedules to lessen their exposure. I don't know. I mean, this is all hunch. I could ask someone that actually works for, a police department but we don't bother with that stuff. We don't bother with facts.
Yeah, but I was going to say, when do facts have any relevance to us?
We never verify or research. Everything is third-person anecdotal.
Listen, once I've said something, it's out in the world, let it be. It is what it is.
So let me go. Let's go pick a fight with Anthony, because I have an issue. Let's see how this works. That's me entering the code to the phone. So
it's raining outside.
No, let's see. Let's go here. Let's go. Wow, everyone's listening to the inner workings of this. Let's see if he answers.
Hello.
Good morning, Anthony. This is the front desk with your afternoon wake-up call.
Hot towel? Hot towel?
You need towel?
Did you? I know that you miss getting wake-up calls from the front desk. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
Listen, are we live? Like, am I on the air?
We're live, buddy.
You're as live as you get, buddy.
So I'm in Publix.
Oh no!
So this should be interesting.
Oh my God!
No. First question: are you going against the grain of the arrows or with the grain of the arrows?
I'm actually going the right direction.
Once.
I'm going the right direction right now.
Dude, I went into a Publix and I swear, I went down the wrong aisles so many times that I think I know I caught a look or two from like the manager, and I swear that the announcement that came on after I got the look was for me only, where it said, please observe the arrows and go in the direction, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I keep forgetting to look down to see which way I'm supposed to go.
What's going the wrong way? We got people going every direction here.
Oh my God. Do they make you wear a mask?
No, we don't have to wear masks here.
Ours do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to have not necessarily a mask, but you have to have your face covered. So I'm sure.
So yeah, it's insane down there though.
Yeah, it's a little past extra down here for some of these people.
So I'm going the right direction. This two women going the wrong direction, but I called them out and I don't know what she said because she has a mask on. So I just heard, that's what I heard.
It's all Charlie Brown over there.
Yeah.
Right. And now, and listen, I got to tell you, I was standing next to a guy when I answered the phone, and I said, "Am I on the air?" And he just stared at me and stared at me and stared at me, and then I just looked at him and like nodded, and he's still staring at me because he probably thinks like, "What air is this guy on?"
You're famous. He doesn't realize you're TikTok
Right.
famous.
How does it feel to be a
Right,
TikTok
right.
celebrity, by the way?
You know, I mean, it's really hard out here. People are, wanting autographs, and
AJ's the next Lizzo.
that's it. Oh, come on, don't let Blake hear that.
Why? Because he'll want to fuck you?
Right.
So
Exactly.
I do want to pick a bone with you about this TikTok. Is that you
What?
finally got me to get the app, and now
Right.
I'm every night trying to go to sleep, but I'm 2 hours into watching like drunk girls with the same music over it. She's fine. She's fine. Or 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 dogs tilting their head to squeak sounds. I mean, it's the dumbest shit, but I can't stop watching it.
Well, because once you go down that rabbit hole, you're on it for hours and hours.
I know it's bad.
Hours.
It's bad.
Oh,
Right.
I'm staying away from this.
The number of
Hours of it.
the number of kids that do shit in front of their parents or to their parents on TikTok, that would have gotten me absolutely hung by my ears and beaten on the feet.
Right.
It's insane. I'm surprised
Right,
your
right.
kids haven't victimized you for TikTok clicks.
Oh, they hate it. They hate it. They
Well-
can't stand it.
Well, they hate
They get so mad.
They hate that you're on it. I'm surprised
Right,
they
right.
don't TikTok and abuse you.
Oh no, because they don't really go on there much. They now they think it's because old people are on there. They can't be on there.
Oh, my goodness, he's found a way to like circumvent the whole thing by being. I'm TikTok famous, so my kids are gonna hate this whole thing, the whole process of it.
Right. Right, they can't stand it.
That's ingenious. So I guess when I'm a father,
Right.
whatever the new thing is, just like embrace it wholeheartedly,
right.
and your kids are gonna be like,
Right.
"Nah, we're good."
I mean, Anthony's kind of shameless. He puts it all out there on
He does,
TikTok.
he does.
Right. I mean, well, I realized once I let the puppies free that the people liked it.
Well, can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
So you took your shirt off in one, and
Right.
let's say you haven't been on keto recently.
No, definitely not.
You've been on you've been on more of the Cheeto diet,
Right.
and so Body by Donuts was in its full glory on TikTok, and apparently you got a lot of attention.
But I got more attention that way than anything.
It's the Burt Kreischer rub.
Yeah.
It's 100% the
Right.
Burt Kreischer rub.
So you had a lot of girls hitting you up.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
So tell us about some of them.
You can't listen,
I
man.
mean,
You can't
most-
kiss and tell, all right?
Well, I don't know if
Most
you.
of them are older, of the older variety.
But what's older to you?
I mean, they gotta be older than me. I mean, I'm 39, so anything older than me.
He's got the cougar love going on.
We're talking like Ben Temple's age. Here.
Oh shit, that hurt.
God damn.
I'm not even interested in girls my age.
Well, but so they're shameless on there, man. They will just tell you everything. I mean, men get a bad rap, a lot, but these women on there are ruthless, and they'll comment publicly without even not even a private message. So they're ruthless on there.
Hey, man, they're going to shoot their shot, okay? They're going to shoot their
I mean,
shot.
I did the video, and I take my shirt off, and the amount of comments that said, "Why don't you keep going and take the pants off?" Publicly.
Hey, so AJ's about once he realizes how much money he could make by taking his pants off, he's a few clicks away from an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, or at
Well,
least,
I think I should.
or like at least chatterbait.
Chatterbait?
Right.
What's
There's
it called?
that's like
Right,
chatterbait,
right.
and it's like
Yeah.
live video cams, and like you get tips, and then if you hit certain plateaus, a lot of people will then go do more. Like then this article clothing goes off, or this thing goes inside me, or whatever the fuck,
You can,
Well, I mean, listen, not for nothing. If this virus bullshit continues,
you'll have
then
to, man.
I'm going to be selling feet pics next week.
Yeah, he's going to have
So-
to. Listen, you and Sadie are in the same business.
Oh my god.
Right. I was going to say that. No shame.
And
Every week, Marco outs someone or says something
Yeah.
that now I'm like, do I protect this person or do I let it go?
these people know what they've done.
I know.
Oh, they know.
They don't listen. They're shameless. They don't care.
I know.
Listen, if you have an OnlyFans account, you don't give a flying fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're just
Right,
trying to
right.
make some money, and AJ's got kids to feed. All
Right.
right.
Can we go back to this? Let's go back to this virus thing really quick, though, because I'm in Publix and I've got some observations here.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, besides the arrows,
Are
that
you
go
are
in
you
which
our
direction,
are you our man on the street right now?
He's our man on the street.
I am. Listen, I'm no Blake Chadwick, but I'm out here.
He's our beat
I'm out
reporter.
here. I got no mask on. I got no gloves on. I'm touching everything,
Now,
scratching my ass, scratching my face.
Listen, that beard of you is going to protect you from the fucking virus, brother.
Right.
It's gonna
Exactly.
catch it all.
I haven't shaved in 2 months. So here's my thing, though. The amount of designer masks that are out there now is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I've seen him now with like your Power Ranger mask.
My Facebook feed's like
Right.
full of ads for. I almost bought a Miami Dolphins one.
Right.
Everybody
Crazy.
who's alone with a fucking a sewing machine is trying to find a way to make a buck selling masks.
Oh yeah, 100%. I see it all over Facebook. But we got masks with smiles on them and designs, and this guy's got an African mask on. We're out of control here.
What do you mean by African mask?
What do you mean by African?
Is this like carved out of of wood?
It has like a design
an
on
actual
it of,
African?
No, like an African flag.
Oh, okay,
on the
okay.
mask.
I thought maybe it was like a weird like witch doctor wooden mask with.
We just passed 2 Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. Why would you? I wouldn't wear an Atlanta Falcons shirt, let alone a mask.
Well, maybe they feel
Not since that Super Bowl for sure.
Maybe they'll feel that if
Right.
they wear it, people will be so disgusted they wouldn't want to come close anyway.
They'll stay with. That's a
That's
good
a-
call. That's actually a good call.
That's a 6-footer for sure.
That's a good call. Yeah. I will tell you, it's packed in here, right? So we got to wear gloves, we got to wear masks. We're letting certain people in at a time, this, that, and the other. But once we're inside, it's a free for all. You can sit next to each other, 12 people in an aisle.
AJ, you know how you clear that store out real quick? Sneeze.
Right. I've been holding my coffee for about 5 minutes now.
Oh my
They'll
God.
eat each other trying to leave that
My
store.
my Uber ride to work Friday morning, I held a cough for a good 4 minutes. I was like, my eyes were watering, my face was turning red.
It's crazy. It's crazy. A cough is now worse than having an open carry.
Yeah.
Right. So true. Right. You actually get away with having an STD.
That guy's got an Uzi strapped to him. Oh, he's all right. But the
Right.
dude over there that's got the red eyes and looks like he sneezed twice today, fuck him.
So
No, I got gonorrhea, but it's okay. You can't sneeze on each other.
so since you brought the virus up, I hear two of the 4 Jeanette brothers
Right.
have the virus.
Two of the 5. There's 5 of us.
Oh, there's
2
5.
have it.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 of your 4
2
brothers. 2 of your
Right,
4
right.
brothers. Right.
Are they
Right,
okay,
have
brother?
it. That's what so when people say oh, you gotta be careful, I'm going off of my brothers, and they had a fever for about 4 days and it went away, and then they were fine, like nothing ever happened. So here's the gimmick here. One got told he had a sinus infection, and they gave him a Z-Pack, and then he went and got tested, and they're like, oh, you're positive. Now he feels like it's a work. They're working him. He's like, I don't think I'm positive. I think they lied to me because I really think I have a sinus infection. But here's the thing. I'm sure these hospitals are getting paid off this, right? They're getting paid off of these test results, probably positive. Who knows if they're just putting them out there?
If we go any further,
This is
I need
so
my,
tin hat.
I need my tinfoil hat if we go any further.
You are the most tin hat
I'm just
of the
saying.
group.
I'm just saying.
Tinfoil hat.
It's a gimmick. It's a work.
This is some Alex
It's all
Jones
being worked.
shit right here.
He's
The
he's
frogs
our,
are gay, brother.
Not
The
only
frogs are gay.
is he our man on the street, but he is our conspiracy expert.
Right.
Right? He just agrees.
Hold on. I am agreeing. Hold on. I've got to pay now. I got to pay for this here.
I need to know what he got.
I got to stand in front of the plexiglass. It doesn't protect me at all.
The 2 foot plexiglass that you have to. The second you go to pay, you're not in front of it.
Right.
Oh. Exactly.
I need as soon as he's done paying, I want to run down to what he bought. Because for some reason he made a post yesterday where like he cooked a bunch of steak and used some like keto hashtags, but I know
Well, that was for you.
I know he was lying.
Thank you. Well, the keto hashtag was honestly just for the gram. It was only for the gram.
Listen.
Because what I didn't put was the mashed potato thing.
Keto's a dirty four-letter word, sir.
You know what? As I'm leaving the store, guess what the announcement was?
What?
They just made the announcement then. You got to walk one direction, pal.
Yep. Nobody listens.
No, it's anarchy in there. It's chaos.
No, listen. We're humans. We're viral infection. We're the worst things ever. Like look how the world.
We're selfish.
The world is like recovering and slowly healing itself, and we can't wait to go right back out and start destroying shit again.
Oh, for sure. We have
America.
So what did you buy?
So we got hot dog buns. We got sugar-free Gatorade. Yes, I only drink sugar-free Gatorade, even though I'm not on keto. I got some sauce and some chicken and some mozzarella for the chicken parm I'm making tonight.
Ooh, chicken parm.
Right. And that's it. That's what we got. And I got a TV in my trunk that I just bought. A nice little 50-inch
nice.
for my room.
I guess I guess someone got their stimulus.
I was gonna say I'm being stimulated. So
I have not been stimulated yet.
I have also not been stimulated. No stimulation so
wow.
far. Yeah.
I'm very upset.
Yeah. I know.
Well, I don't know how I got it.
So, but your brother from in New York, you said
Right.
he got better before he got his test results back.
Right. So he had a fever. He called. They said, we can't test you because you only have one symptom, a fever. So he called back the next day and said, I got to get tested. I've been around a lot of people. I live in New York, blah, blah, blah. Okay, come in and get tested, but not till next week. So 5 days go by before he even gets tested from his symptom. Actually, it was 7 days from his symptom till he got tested. Then takes the test. He doesn't get his results back he got his results on the 14th day after the test. So 14 days it took to get results. And the guy told him they're 2 weeks behind on test results. And he told him that, I'm breathing heavy here if you can't tell. I just got in the car, a little winded.
10 feet.
Putting those groceries in.
Cardio, buddy.
And he
Someone
he
else
told
is
him,
not in ring shape other than you, Marco.
Yeah, thank God. We don't need to be, right?
No. That nonsense is over with.
Unless ICW comes back.
Ooh, I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim.
Shower.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen either.
I think that's just for the stories these days, buddy. Just the stories, the old ones.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna be making.
Right.
I mean, you will. You'll still.
No, I can't. I thought about this though this morning as I was watching a little wrestling clip, and I thought there is no way ever I could take a bump ever again. I just don't want to. And
I think we lost AJ.
He hung up on us.
Yeah. Did he just? AJ, you there?
Oh yeah, it went to my car phone. From my headphones to my car phone now.
No. I was gonna say, I was like, as he was talking, I'm like, did he just take a bump? Like,
I'm never taking a bump again.
that was the last we ever hear from him.
But I'm driving past Dunkin' Donuts. I got excited.
Now he sounds like he's underwater.
He does. It sounds like shit.
Let me switch it back to my headphones.
Yeah, do that. Terrible.
there we go. We're back.
Oh man, it's so much better.
I was like, we lost him.
I'm like, I thought it sounded like shit before. Now it
Right.
sounds like shit underwater.
Yeah. So now I'm back.
So you go back to your brother for a second.
So okay, so he doesn't get his test results for 14 days,
Yeah.
right? Here's the gimmick. So he lives in New York. So he got a text message from the hospital about day 11 saying you're positive. So he calls the health department and they're like, yeah, I don't know, we're so behind, we don't have anybody's results. He's like, well, I got a text message, and the guy's like, text message? I didn't know they were sending text messages. So the left and the right hand don't know what's going on, right? So now he's stayed in his house for 14 days. So he finally gets a hold of this guy.
When you say he hasn't left his house at all,
he hasn't even left his apartment to get food. He's been ordering Uber Eats and having him drop it at his door every day. He ran out of coffee creamer at one point and refused to go get more because he thought he was infected, right? So he doesn't leave for nothing, right? So he calls me about day 10. He calls and he says, I walked 9.9 miles today. I said, oh, where'd you go? He said, in my house. He said he just was doing laps around his kitchen.
This is so opposite of Florida behavior. It's not
Holy
even
shit,
funny.
your brother
Right.
is losing his mind.
So he's off his rocker. Finally, he's calling the health department every day, and they're like, yeah, we don't know results. So the results that they're reporting and the results that we're seeing on TV, the guy told him that they're behind like 7 days. So when you see, 5,000 people died today, it really was last week. It wasn't this week.
Well, I think cases maybe but I think it's easy to tally deaths. Like,
You just count the bodies.
Probably the deaths are, I think that would be a little easier. But the case-wise, the guy told him, we're so behind on reporting, getting them and reporting them. I mean, they were 11 days behind.
right.
Okay. And then when he calls, this was 3 days ago, he called in the morning, and the guy tells him, we're behind 2 weeks now. So now they've decreased in 2. They're really behind. So the guy says, let me go look, I'll call you back. The guy calls him back and says, okay, you tested positive. Let's go through a questionnaire. So he asked some questions. What were your symptoms? Just a fever. Okay. How long did it last? 4 days. Okay. No other symptoms? No. Okay. Did you quarantine for 3 days after the test? That's when my brother lost his shit and said, whoa, 3 days? I've been home for 15 fucking days. And the guy's like, oh, they were supposed to tell you 3. Nobody told him.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my god.
he could have had creamer for his coffee all week. So now he's pissed, right? And the guy tells him, if you would have took the test 2 days later, you would have tested negative. So when he tested positive, he was at the end of his thing.
These are how
He was
supervillains
like 2
are
days
born.
ago.
This is exactly
Right,
how supervillains are born.
Oh, so true.
Because if your brother, like, say something bad had happened in between that time, and he finds out, like, in today's day, you just snap. You snap, and before you know it, you're wearing, like, kids is like their heads is like a necklace, and you don't even know what happened.
Right. Right. You're just like, I don't know. I woke up and this is what happened. Right.
Our system is driving people crazy. What a fuck show it is, man. Every time
Right.
I hear something like that, we're like, because at my house, my mother-in-law has CNN, NBC on all fucking day, fear-mongering horseshit all fucking day.
Right.
And they're just talking about, Cuomo and this and that and this and that. And then you finally hear, like, hey, just a random, here's my brother's story and his experience in New York. And you're like, wow, they don't have an effing clue what the fuck they're doing. Not even the ballpark.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what my thought is like, you can say a tin hat or whatever, but personal experience, they don't have a fucking clue. And,
personal experience? You don't have any personal experience.
Here it gets even better. So then my brother, who quarantined for, he ended up being quarantined for 16 days. Once the guy told him, hey, you're clear to go out and about, he got in his car and drove here. So now he's here in Georgia. He drove 12 hours.
Did you rib?
No human interaction.
Did you rib him at all? Please tell me you went through.
We told him that when he came in. We told him that he needed to wear gloves, and he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah,
it's like
he's like.
I would have been like,
at that point,
I've been like, you're dirty, man. You got to use the side entrance.
At that point, he was so pissed off from it that he decided to just say "fuck you" and just walked in the house.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen people in over 2 weeks. Because the Uber, he was making Uber Eats drop it at his door. He wasn't even facing them. There was no looking at them or anything.
I mean, he started talking to a fucking volleyball after a while, I suppose.
Right. So now he's here, and I'm feeding him well, and
it's like you took in a stray.
Right.
I'm feeding him well. He's doing better.
No, this is like a shelter dog.
Yeah.
That came from an abused household.
Right. And we're feeding him well, and we're taking good care of him, and
we're taking it one day at a time.
Human interaction.
I mean, he was all ribs and skin and bones when we first got him,
Right.
and he shivered all the time.
That lack of coffee.
There's only so much you can eat pizza delivery, I guess.
When he showed up, Sarah McLachlan was playing.
Yeah. So now here's the best part. So I just pulled in my driveway. The garage is open, and I'm like, "What is he doing?" He's currently putting my barbecue together that I bought.
Oh my God! So there you go. It's awesome, man.
He's already providing value.
Now, mind you, I bought this barbecue August of 2019. The barbecue's still not put together, so.
Was how long have you? Okay, so but you were living in Atlanta at that time, right?
Well, I moved into this house in August with this
I
barbecue
didn't.
grill
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bought.
I didn't know if you had bought that at like the
Right.
old place, and
No. He's putting it together right now. I'm watching him from the car, and he's looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That means that once that barbecue is put together and completed, your move-in is finally.
You know what-
year-long journey is complete.
you know what you should
Oh,
do.
but he doesn't know this though. I've got a list of other stuff for him.
You know what you should do. You should roll down the window,
What?
yell, "You're doing a great job," and then roll the window back up.
Yeah. And then he'll stop putting it together. Then I won't have a barbecue grill.
No. AJ's got to keep him happy, so he keeps building him shit.
Well, listen, he doesn't know, but his next project is well, I say we, like I'm gonna help, but we're gonna take the pine straw out and replace it with black mulch.
So you're going to become a
Right.
supervisor.
Oh, and then we're gonna stain the deck upstairs. Yeah.
He throws this wee shit around like he's going to do any of this nonsense.
Well, I kind of feel like like I don't know what you guys do at work, but I really feel that Marco, you're the supervisor.
Well,
I feel like you're the.
Dude,
I really feel like
Oh.
you're taking a nap while Ben's working.
100%.
this was
100%.
I think he used "we" at one point, and I looked at him like, "Motherfucker, what's this we?" You sat in the car in the air conditioning on your phone while me and Jeff did the thing. Not that I'm complaining. We're paying the dues. We're learning how to do this, but don't be fucking weeing too much.
Listen,
I knew it. I could tell.
It's an awesome position to be in.
I had a feeling you were enjoying that too much.
I'm 100% enjoying this. So, listen. When I get my paycheck every Friday, I'm like, this is amazing.
What a fun son of a bitch.
But then when something has to be done, I'm there to pick up my Padawans and help them.
Jesus, what a mess.
Hey, listen. They're getting paid a salary, sir. Okay, it's
That's true. Right.
It's not like it's not like your brother who's just being paid in human interaction.
Well, and chicken parm.
Well, and food.
and yeah,
chicken
chicken
parm.
parm tonight.
God damn
He
it!
had stuffed shells and Italian sweet sausage first night. Last night he had steak, mashed potatoes, and banana bread.
Where are all
Tonight
these?
he's getting chicken parm.
Where are all these photos?
I posted the steak and the.
Dude, I don't remember no shells. I better see some.
I don't think I took a picture of
We
it.
better see chicken parm on the Instagram.
Are you the one, AJ, that he sends all the fucking donut pictures to?
Who?
Ben, when you take pictures
Ben?
of my donuts that should I buy from Publix, are you sharing it to
Oh,
him?
I saw them.
Oh,
Yeah,
You know what though? Listen.
Sometimes I send them to
Is he
Anthony.
eating them?
Sometimes I
Or is
post
he
them.
not?
What?
Does he eat them or is he lying? He's
God
eating them,
knows.
isn't he?
That's for me.
Oh.
No. Listen, man. But if it weren't for my metabolism, I'd be right there with you, buddy.
Dude,
Right. Well, I'm
He-
out of control. This is a whole nother level.
Marco gets a box of 6 Publix donuts at least 3 times a week.
Amen.
Get the fuck out. And they got some good donuts.
I was
man.
gonna say, man, if they weren't so fucking good, I wouldn't eat them all
Right.
the time. Okay.
No, I will tell you. I just bought 2 cannolis as well. I forgot that.
Oh, those are fantastic. And well, what I love is I've been getting the potato balls and Jamaican beef patties too.
They're so good.
Oh,
So good.
I'm listening to all this, and I'm looking, and next to Marco on the couch is a Wendy's bag and a thing of M&Ms that he's picking
crispy M&Ms, sir.
up. Crispy, not the brownie ones.
The brownie ones are for
No.
tonight, for later, for my dessert.
I only eat the brownie ones
Wow.
after 7.
After 7.
I'm telling you, if you're not eating your M&Ms frozen, you're not eating M&Ms properly.
I do. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree. I just all I know is this quarantine thing. I don't know if I want it to end or if I want it to not end because I'm eating like a champ over here, but I weigh 900 pounds. I'm gonna look like maximum capacity pretty soon.
Huh.
And
Oh,
Second-
Marco just got triggered. His eyes squinted when you said that. He hates that guy.
it's good that he's dead.
Yeah, Marco. That was a good day for Marco when he
it was
died.
a good day. I think I had heat with Johnny for like a little bit after that because of my reaction to that, and I guess because him and Max had a more positive relationship. But I don't give a fuck.
Max tried to kill him once. You ever heard this story?
No.
Please continue.
Okay, listen to this. Okay, we're in Tampa.
Let's
We stop at a Publix.
let's just let our 12 listeners know. Max Capacity was a pro wrestler who was like what, 500 pounds?
600 pounds.
600 pounds?
600 easy.
600
Right.
pounds.
So he's driving, right? We're in Tampa. It's me, Johnny, David Babylon, and Max. And Ricky Vandal was with us, too. So we stop at a Publix because we want lunch. And Max, he's fat. He doesn't go inside. So he tells us what he wants. But he specifically gives Johnny the order. Right? Now, mind you, Johnny was the youngest of all of us. Why he would give him the order, I have no idea.
Because shit rolls downhill, dude.
I guess. So we all order our stuff. We get in the car. He specifically said no mayo. So we get in the car. We're all fucking eating. And he opens it up and he's like, I said no mayo. And Johnny's like, what? He's like, I said no mayo. And I'm like, you don't like mayo? I was sitting in the front. And he's like, no. I go, you're 600 pounds. What the fuck? Like, I mean, if you were like, a fucking health god, I would be like, oh, I understand. You're 600 pounds. You don't eat mayo? He takes the sandwich and throws it at the windshield. Now it's stuck in between the dashboard and the windshield. And I'm pissed because I'm like, that's a good sandwich right there.
And in the Florida heat, that's going to stink in about 2 hours because that's like a magnifying glass up there.
Exactly. So now he wants to kill Johnny, like to the point where he's angry. If he could have turned around, obviously he couldn't because he was 600 pounds, he would have choked Johnny out. So we're driving to go to the show, and he is just, fucking livid. You motherfucker, you piece of shit. When we get out of this car, I'm going to kill you. And Johnny's like, you're a fat fuck, you're not going to catch me. And I was like, oh, but Johnny is laying it in. This is going to be great.
You guys must be egging it on, too.
Right. I'm like, man, that's a good fucking sandwich. I can't believe your fat ass doesn't eat mayo. And he's like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch. I just wanted to eat a sandwich. So we get to the show. He can't catch Johnny, obviously. So it fucking dies down. But let me tell you, years later, before he passed away, he tells us all, that day I thought about driving the car off the road. That's how mad he was. I was like, you're going to kill all of us over fucking mayo, you fat fuck? Right. He was going to kill us because of the mayo.
I mean,
yeah.
No one would have known why. That would have been the sad part of the story.
Fast forward to, I think we were talking about this the other day. A couple days ago was the anniversary of the show we did in West Boca Raton High School at my brother's shaking his head at me. He can't get the grill together. This is great.
Aren't there instructions? Just roll down the window.
He's got the instruction book in his hand. He's shaking his head with his hands up in the air now.
You should just roll down the window, even though he's reading the instruction. Goes, make sure you read the instructions.
Are you reading the instructions? He's coming to the car.
Oh, this is awesome.
Are you reading the instructions? It's impossible? That's why it's been on the floor since August. Jeremy said he would pay somebody $125 to do this.
Hey, that's precise. Like 120 is a
Mind
precise amount of money.
Right, and the grill only cost me $99.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my god.
So this is the anniversary because I think Blake had seen it and sent it to us, and Ben, you were at that show.
Yeah.
You said,
Blake just would not accept. Blake
Right.
would just not accept I'd been there, and I just kept giving detail after detail after detail.
Right. Like,
and
for
Blake,
you to have known that Lindsay Dorado didn't show up, you knew the show.
yeah. And like I said, they were worried about you scratching the basketball court, and
Yes,
and you go
100%.
yes, and Blake goes like
Right.
every fucking school, and I'm like, what the fuck, Blake? Just
Right. No, you were there because you obviously.
Yeah.
So that's the show that Lindsay didn't show up. It was supposed to be me and Johnny versus Craig Classic and Lindsay. Lindsay no-showed. Max was there, so we used Max in the spot, and we had like a coach come in and spear Larry Lane, and then he was managing the other team, and then Max says, double super kick me, I'll be on my knees, that'll be the finish. Me and Johnny kicked him so hard when he took the, first of all, I could feel his nose break on my boot. I felt it, like go through my shoe. And I looked down, and the blood is pouring out of his face. And I looked at Johnny, and we both went, oh shit. So I pinned him 1, 2, 3, and Max looks up, he's like, you both are dead. His nose, it was pouring fucking blood.
Wait a minute. I remember this show. I worked Jordan Rayner in the opener.
You did. That's right. You did work later. I'm so sorry.
I
Fuck.
just. Oh
You
my!
did.
Holy shit!
You did. It was a good crowd, though. It was a fun show.
It was. It was a fun show.
Well, it's just one of those school shows. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was.
Right, right.
Yeah. I forgot when you started doing the details of the match. I'm like, oh, I remember
Right,
this
right.
because
You
when
weren't-
you guys were talking
yes,
about it in the
sorry.
thread, I'm like, why wasn't I booked on this show? Like, I was like, where was I? What was I
You
doing?
were.
And I was like, oh yeah, I worked Rayner. Probably the fucking
Right,
best
right.
match he ever worked.
Right.
They-
That's probably your worst match you've ever worked with someone. 'Cause
That's not true, man.
Those little shits.
We already uncovered the worst match I worked the 2 podcasts ago.
By the way, if you watch that podcast on Facebook or YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
at the end you get to see the whole match
Good for the viewing people. I hope they all lose their eyes.
with the Blake
Right.
Chadwick and Dick Tingle commentary.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Oh, Dick Tingle.
Jesus. Well,
I hate
yeah.
you. I hate you for even bringing up Tingle's
Rough.
name.
Listen, we could talk about Tingle one day about his. That was the first time I ever heard about gaslighting,
Oh my God, that's right. That's right. The gaslighting.
and didn't he then get in trouble for like hitting his girl or I don't know. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, no.
That guy's.
Jesus. Well,
Well, that's
I
fantastic.
got to get my chicken parm out of the car.
Yeah, and
My TV.
and you have a grill that you and your brother have to disapprovingly stare at for 5 minutes.
Honestly, I'm gonna take the stuff out of the car and walk right past it.
You know what?
I'd never come back out.
You know what you should do? You should walk by him with the groceries and go, "Why don't you take a break from that grill and hook my TV up? It's in the back of the car."
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Maybe you can figure that one out.
Yeah, maybe you can figure that out. All right, buddy.
Well,
Well, that was a fun 30 minutes. I gotta say.
yeah, well, we're gonna do this more often now that we have the capability. We have
Yeah.
the magic.
You should have called me when I went to Target. That was even more interesting.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
Well, so maybe one time I'll let you know when we're starting, and you can just randomly call in, and
yeah.
that might be exciting.
I like a
and we
weekly
can just a
weekly man on the street segment wouldn't be
Oh
bad.
my god.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like I got better play-by-play at Publix from you than Blake.
Ooh, Blake calls
Oh,
anything though.
jeez. Okay.
I only did that to Needle Blake. I
Well,
want to
yeah,
see
let's-
if he listens this far in.
2
Hey,
podcasts.
you know what
in a row
else is the
participated in
difference?
it.
The difference is this. I don't charge for my podcasting.
And also I already got my 2 out of him. I'm not sure I'm getting another.
And at this rate, buddy, at this rate,
Hit your quota for 2020.
Come on.
Maybe next year.
We could if we can't rib each other, what are we doing?
Right.
well, all right. Well, you have yourself
All
a
right. I'm gonna
fantastic
bring my
chicken
TV
parmesan.
inside and. Right. Well, I'm gonna have hot dogs for lunch first. Actually.
Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing photos of all of this.
Yeah.
I'll hashtag keto for you.
You could hashtag not keto.
All right. TikTok
All right.
superstar AJ.
That's right. You can catch him on TikTok.
Right.
What's your TikTok handle?
AJ Slambino.
All right. You just got 12 new followers.
Wait, what about? Hold on. Wait. What about my YouTube cooking show? Come on. You're gonna forget that?
Listen.
How many pots
it's-
do you have hands in, brother?
Listen, he's
Well, listen. I got furloughed. I got nothing else to do.
the furlough files. Maybe we should start our own side content.
Furlough files.
We should start our own side podcast.
That's awesome.
Right, the furlough files.
Just
interview
checking.
people who are furloughed.
Yep. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Have a good day, brother.
Later.
Peace.
Let's see if he hangs up. Hey, he
There he
did.
goes.
All right.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
I didn't know they broke. I'd forgotten that they broke Max's face.
That's what.
But that's exactly what
so
reminded
so
you.
he's
of it.
telling the whole story, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I'm thinking they're talking about back in the days, like 2001, 2002.
At first, and I was
2003.
looking at you while he was telling it, and your face was like changing.
Like I'm trying to place this, and then we talked about the match. I'm like, oh, I worked Rainer that show. I remember that match. Like, I remember that show. It was a great crowd. It was a good night. I think we had a great time afterwards. I think I was still dating the stripper villain at the time, but I can't be sure because I don't know what year that was.
Which one's the stripper villain?
Max.
Oh, it's funny that you got hit with multiple Maxes.
I multiple Maxes. It's not a name that does well by me. And I just remember I remember actually having feeling like me and Rainer had a good match for what kind of match we could have. I felt it was good.
Can I tell you that? Like, I don't know how long you were dating Max while I mean, I guess I knew you the whole time, but like really, my only memory of like being around the two of you together was that time we went to the ale house to watch UFC in Boca, and you got four of those
pitchers of
blue Long Island iced tea
Yeah.
drinks. You drank by yourself, like literally they bring a pitcher over and you just threw the straw in it.
I drank 4 of them.
You
I know,
drank from the pitcher thing.
I
You
don't
didn't
know if
pour
I-
them out.
I don't know if I completed the 4th one. I kind of things get hazy after.
I don't think you completed consciousness by the 4th one. You were a mess by the end of
Yeah,
that.
I was. That was one. That is one of the times, like in public.
You were a slop tart.
Yeah, I was. yeah, that was with because Howard and Paul Jones.
And again, I don't even
everybody was there.
remember much
Yeah.
about her. I just remember that time
Yeah.
period she was there with you.
And I remember everybody was going to the casino,
Yeah.
and I wanted to go, and Max was just like, absolutely.
You couldn't
not.
stand.
No.
You couldn't walk.
Uh,
We went to the casino afterwards with
Yeah.
Paul Jones and Howard
Yeah.
Brody and everyone. Just kind of walked around, and then they got into gambling, and I was like, all right. It was like the sun was starting to
That's
crack
right, because
out.
we drove Bobby up there, so Bobby didn't want to go. So between that and she was all pissed at me, and that's the only conscious thoughts, memories I have.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I remember being at the casino with them, but I don't remember doing anything. We were just
Yeah.
walking around drinking, and eventually a couple of them settled down to gamble some, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to watch you guys gamble, and I'm not going to gamble, so
Yeah.
it's my time to leave.
Yeah. No, it's a no. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Holy shit. So it's pretty interesting.
I think that was the time, if I'm not mistaken, that we were like a big group at the ale house, and it was either that time or another time where I think I had talked to Barisano about doing SuperCon, and Hudak wanted to do it, but was like in that weird position where he was afraid. He was not afraid, but he didn't or hadn't asked me, and I from a distance saw Barisano go, just talk to him, just ask, and then I just went over and offered it to him.
Yeah.
Or it was vice versa. It was Hudak telling Barisano. I don't remember
Yeah.
which one it was, but I think it was at that one. But I
Um,
could have just totally made all that up.
So weekly furlough file with AJ.
I'm just like a 15-minute the furlough files.
The furlough
What'd you do
files.
today? I made 2 TikTok videos. I ate 4 times. I watched a vintage 1972 basketball game on ESPN.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
That Michael Jordan
and
thing's
and
coming
he'll
up soon.
share at least one tinfoil hat conspiracy.
Yeah, it's weird how he just threw that in there without like.
Everything.
I mean, it was really smooth too. Because as he starts it, I'm like, "Is this gonna go where I think?" Oh, it
And
is
he's
gonna
like,
go where I think.
and here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. And then all of a sudden you're in conspiracy land. He's good.
The
He's good.
frogs are gay. AJ Slambino.
Gay frogs. Gay frogs in the water. Or whatever that Alex Jones thing was that he's famous
I
for.
don't fucking know.
And all of a sudden they're speaking French.
Well, shit.
Look at you looking at time.
I
Are you-
was.
Are you done? Are you done talking for the day?
No,
it's
no,
okay.
no, no. Listen, we've only done an hour 30 so far.
What do you mean only? I gotta pee, man.
I don't know. Do we have anything else to talk about?
We really don't. That's
I mean,
the thing.
It's just like in the whole coronavirus thing. It's like we see each other every day, but like our days are sort of mundane.
Well, it's funny because like the fact that we work 40 hours together
yeah.
now, you would think we'd have more stories
But
that
it's-
are shared stories that we can. But this week was really uneventful. Even the work, I think
Yeah.
we didn't get no people motherfucked us.
Yeah.
Nobody. Even that last Friday went way too smooth. Like in terms of like the 1 or 2 times we had to deal with a client, a customer, whatever you want to call it, that they were all like. Usually, there's a struggle to explain
Yeah.
why you're here and why they have to pay for this, and everyone was like, "Oh, cool. How much is it?" You know,
Yeah.
it was like, and they had their cash or their checkout, and
I think we've reached the point, though, at least within our job, and maybe a lot of people who are still working, where at this point, if you show up to a job site, everyone kind of like they know why you're there. They know that they owe something. Like there's no
Well,
miscommunication,
yeah, yeah.
really.
Well, we're supposed to be calling, not us, but our our
Well-
company's supposed to be calling ahead to let them know.
But you come across situations where you get on a job site and people do, oh, I don't know what's happening. Why are you here? They do
Well,
the
but
dumb shit.
that's you. I feel, and again, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. That's just a case of the person running the day to day that we interact with isn't the person we talk to, who's the owner, who's
Yeah.
not there and didn't fill them in.
Yeah, that's occasionally the case. But no, I'm looking forward. I'm thinking that the way things are looking, it looks like some states are getting a little antsy, going to start opening some stuff up. So
Well, they're going to open stuff. I'm telling you, they're opening stuff up too soon. I know some people would disagree with that, but I'd rather, and this is not a selfish thing, I just think that like it's worth the risk to be a week or two longer than we should have than a week or two earlier, and then it all flares up again, and you
Yeah.
have to start over from zero.
Again, we've already gotten this far, people. We've already gotten this far. What's in like quite honestly, and I understand.
And
that-
I know that I'm coming from a position of having a job
Yeah.
through this whole thing,
Yeah.
and probably getting a stimulus check.
Yeah.
So I'm benefiting.
We
but
are-
I'm not advocating because of that.
While we are one of the privileged few to still like our lives haven't really been upended by this, to be completely honest, especially from seeing outside, where we're at anyway as a country and who we are as a people, we're already a month and a half really into this. What's another month?
Well,
Instead of let's restart, and now we have to go start what may be a 3-month process
well,
again.
I'll tell you two things. Is that I think a lot of people are getting real nervous financially if they aren't already underwater.
And I totally understand that.
And some people haven't got their stimulus
Yeah.
checks. And then you have the morons saying that, oh, that check we gave you for
Yeah.
$1,200.
Could
No.
last you 12 weeks.
That's our money. We expect that to last you 10 fucking weeks. They said 10.
Oh, is it 10? Oh,
10
okay.
weeks for $1,200. I'm like, that's a motherfucker who hasn't paid a bill in like 2 decades. He
no-
has someone else that handles
Has
everything.
no concept.
Everything. He
No
doesn't shop
concept.
for himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the price of anything is. Everything. The rent, if they're
Yeah.
renting a place or if the payments, they have no idea of anything. They just have money coming in and money going out, and someone else is handling that. And then they're thinking that, like someone who's just lost their job, that $1,200 is going to last them 2.5 months, 2.5 months.
It's totally ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous to even.
If they want, and I think again, people would be less resistant to the fact of staying home another week or two if they already had another stimulus coming, and the last one had already hit their accounts. That's the problem.
Well, we don't want to talk about the bungling of any of that nonsense.
No,
or
no, no.
whatnot,
But it's the reality of the
Yeah.
situation, without being political.
But I definitely am on the side of, hey, man, if we have to go an extra couple weeks just to be 100% sure, I think it's really beneficial to do that instead of restarting this process. And, because once the economy starts going, man, once those floodgates open, people are pouring out. Businesses are going to be packed. It's going to be crazy.
The views of Marco Salvino
Oh,
are
man.
not the views of Breakfast Club or any other
I've considered
any of our sponsors or
sponsors.
or our network.
I think we're just I'm hoping we're talking all these things into existence, and not lack of. Well, we need a few sponsors.
And I think if we have a sponsor, one of our 12 would buy something.
I think if we had a financial responsibility not to say certain things, I think I'd be more apt to watch myself.
I doubt it.
All right, let's get out of here.